I was having a conversation with my daughter one day about changes that I wanted to make in my life. And she had a really good idea. She said, what I do, rather than thinking about what I want to get rid of, I think about what I want to include in my life. And I thought, man, she's a smart girl. She must have got it from me. Anyway, I decided I would do the same thing. So I was writing in my journal a few days ago, just a list of those things, and thinking about what I really love. And in this video, I decided to share some of my favorite things. So I hope you grasp this concept and maybe run with it and just look at what you want to include in your life rather than all the things you want to get rid of. Because I think the more you include what you love, the less time, energy, and interest you'll have in those things that you don't love. And I think one of our main purposes in life is to enjoy it. Jesus said, I've come that you have life and have it abundantly. And I think abundance means not just more stuff, which, as we all know, doesn't really bring a lot of happiness, or at least not lasting happiness, but abundance of things you love, and that includes the people and the activities and things like that. So in the glue book today, I'm sharing some of the things that are my favorite things, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm working in my giant glue book again. This is the one I started that's made with a calendar, and it's from 2005, and I decided I didn't need that many pictures of sunflowers. I kept it for the flower pictures, but I didn't need that many, so I had this idea one day to make it into a glue book, and I'm having so much fun because so many pictures from magazines are large, and with a small glue book it's like you can't use them. So today I'm doing my favorite things, and I've cut out a bunch of pictures and kind of figured out where I want them, but I thought I would just get started and we'll have a chat. So one of my favorite things is summer dresses, especially linen ones, and going barefoot. And I don't know if you noticed, but I just cut my hair a little bit so that it's a little bit more like this. And I had seen it, well, I saw my daughter's hair the other day, and she'd cut hers shorter, and hers has more curl than mine does. But I thought, you know what, I want something simpler for summer. So I cut it a little bit shorter, and I'll see how I like it. But anyway, one of my favorite things is just moments like this. And then I have this one too, which is so pretty, and it came with favorite finds on it, so I'm going to leave that there. But you'll notice as I go through this that everything is blue. Now, after I started pulling out pictures, I realized that a great many of them were blue or had blue in them, and so I thought, well, that's because blue is my favorite color. So I decided to run with it and use blue as a theme. So I did have some other things picked out, but I thought, you know what? I have enough pictures with a blue theme that I'm just going to stick with a blue theme, and then I can say, well, it's also one of my favorite things. These tweezers are wonderful. I got them in a set of three different kinds at one point in the past. And they're nice because it means you can pick something up without getting glue all over yourself. Now this picture is not quite big enough for this space, so I decided to leave kind of just a white border around it. And the thing is, it's my book, I can do what I want, right? It's my party, I can cry if I want to. Which I don't want to today, but I love this idea of sort of a little alcove. I have a wicker bench on my deck, and I think this summer I'm going to put up some curtains just for fun. I probably have mentioned this before, but every summer for the past several years, we've had what we've started calling Grandpa's Holiday Camp. I don't know how it got to be Grandpa's, but he likes that, so we just keep calling it that. But it gets called Holiday Camp, or whatever, summer camp. But what we do is my daughter brings her children out and we just goof off. We basically take the week off and we play. So we're about a 10-minute drive to a lake. So we'll go to the beach. There's a village there, and we'll get coffee and muffins, and sometimes we take a picnic, and or we'll go up to one of the other lakes. Like, I live surrounded by mountains, and they have lakes in them. So we'll go somewhere like that, or to the waterfall, or to the wetlands and look at the birds, and sometimes we see otters and that sort of thing. So basically, it's just a fun time for all of us. Now, this one I love because I like the map. I like the idea of framing the map, actually, and then using it as a bulletin board for other favorite things. And then the white pictures, like white, I think is probably my second or third favorite color. Blue, pink, white. And also the references to the sea. This folding chair I love. I have those actually on my deck. I bought them one time. I used to have a job as a sales manager for a hotel, and I used to travel around and visit companies and all that kind of stuff, which was a pretty fun job, to be honest. And one day I was in this town up north, and I walked past this store, and they had this French style table and two chairs, like the bistro table kind. And I just snapped it up and brought it home. And every summer I say, I think I should paint that, or my husband says, I'll paint that. Well, if he says he'll paint it, means in his mind he's already painted it, so nothing really happens. Well, that's not true. Sometimes it takes a while. He is painting my office because I'm changing everything around. I have my office in one of the bedrooms at home, and I'm changing everything around to make it into a studio. Now, I think I'll put that there, but I've got some of these longer ones. I think I'll wait with that one. And then that's not quite big enough, but I love this too. All these blue fabrics and blue threads. And I actually, I can't remember if I've mentioned this in a previous video or not, but I've had this top cut out for at least a year and a half. And then, you know, it got so, like, when COVID came along and you couldn't go anywhere anyway, that perhaps, well, I just didn't bother to finish it. But when I was writing in my journal and saying, you know, what are the things I want to add to my life, I said to myself and wrote down, I want to sew more because I find it very relaxing. I actually learned to sew as a child because my mother was an absolutely fabulous seamstress. And I would actually draw a picture of what I wanted and basically design something for myself, and she would make it. So we probably should have gone into business, but we didn't, and that's that. But she taught me to sew, and by the time I was 10 years old, I could make my own clothes. So it's always given me a certain amount of pleasure to do that. This is another thing I love, which is white shirts. This is more of a blouse because it's kind of lacy, but I love the blue and the white together. Just one of my favorite things. So I decided, I've had this little piece around. I've been looking at it over several pages. And now I just found the right spot for it, which is right here. Because it doesn't take away from either one of these pictures. And with this one, I don't think I really have a space that it won't cover up a lot of things. So I might have to leave it for another time. Like, I don't really want to pop it in there, but I do love the idea of, especially the gingham check and the blue and white stripe. So somewhere along the way, I'll find a spot. And this one represents a couple of things that I love, which I will show you in a moment. I'm putting it here to cover this up because there's writing down there. I'm putting it right in the corner so that more of the girl in the dress shows. So, sketching, watercoloring, touring. all things I love. I love a good road trip. Last year, when COVID stuff was still clinging, my husband and I looked at going, well, we were talking about taking a vacation. And flying somewhere was just nuts. It still is kind of nuts. And I said, let's just get in the car and go for a drive. Let's just drive somewhere. So we did. We went from here down the Oregon coast, stayed in Lincoln City for several days, and stopped here and there along the way. Okay, so this one is not primarily blue, but it has enough blue in it. And I love this kind of thing where there's something creative everywhere. And it says, art comes from a kind of intuition just below the surface, which is a quote from somebody. I don't know who now. But I thought I would put it here. And then I have this one, which is Paris, the Place du Tertre, and early morning, it said in the description. And because it's early morning, it's quite blue. It's obviously Christmas too, because they've got little Christmas trees, but that's okay. I never even noticed them before. But I love Paris. I love France. I actually lived in the south of France once for a while and long to go back. And I thought I'd put it like that or like that. I think I need to put it over top because there's more blue in it like that. So I am going to glue this down. Some of the other things I put on my list of things that I want to include more of in my life were I want to spend more time with my children and my grandchildren. My youngest daughter has a new baby and two other children who are currently 5 and 8 and soon to be 6 and 9. It's actually really hard to believe that my granddaughter is going to be 9 soon. But, you know, they live an hour and a half drive from here, and there's, you know, big city, lots of traffic, all that kind of thing. And some days it's a little bit daunting. It's like, oh, what day will we go when we don't have to sit in traffic on the highway to get there? But I thought, you know, I do have some flexibility in my time because I'm self-employed. And I want to spend more time. I just want to see them more often because those little kids just don't stay little for long. And the baby's already 4 months old and she's an absolute doll. She's just lovely. She's like her mama who was born smiling. And so I want to be able to be there because this is pretty much without a doubt the last grandchild I'll have. So another thing I want to do and include more of in my life is reading. I love to read. I always have a stack of books on the go and sometimes I just don't even get through them. And I love the library, which is literally a 6-minute walk from me. And you know, the librarians and I are like this. In fact, I order books in, I request books in about things like home decor and all kinds of stuff. And they put them there after they see what I've got in. They'll request it for themselves. And well, I was there last week, and one of them was teasing me, and she's like, "You only have 2 books in today." I said, "I know. I've been lazy, I guess." Now, I want to put this down here. I'd like to cover up that number 31, but I don't want to cover up too much of the rest of this. And I have some other things that I'm going to put in like that. So I can still see quite a bit of this. A lot of it's going to be covered up, but the main thought of it is still here. I knew this little piece would come in handy. If you've watched my other videos, you'll have seen where it came from, and I've just used bits and pieces of this one big picture over and over. I might as well keep this because, you know, I could put it up here, I suppose. Maybe I will. I think I'm going to put this way so that more blue shows, and I'm going to get out my parchment paper, my crinkly paper, and use my glue stick. By the way, people have asked where you get this glue. There is a link below for this kind of glue, so just, you know, go find it. It's very sticky and it's nice and big, and it doesn't really dry out while you're using, like some others kind of just dry. You know, you take a minute to wipe the glue off your finger and it starts to dry on you, but this doesn't do that. It also doesn't act wet, so that kind of helps. Okay, so let's just bring that right down to the bottom. That together there. Okay, let's go with this one. You can see how this wet glue warps the paper, but once it dries, it settles down again. And of course, you know, you're adding a whole bunch of paper on top of paper, so the pages become quite thick and stiff. And that's just how it is. I mean, what difference does it make? None. Makes no difference. And what I love about this picture is something you probably already know about, and that is it's got this reference to the sea, a paddle that says seagull on it, shells in little baskets, this blue pot, this sort of blue-green desk, a pretty painting. So and I like the sort of gradation in the colors on the lampshades, and I love white and blue together, which I've already said. So just lots of things to love there. Now I cut out some little pieces like this. I had thought I might use some of that down here, but I changed my mind on that. Here's something else I love: notebooks and colored pencils. I love those. I'm going to use this glue, turn this over so I don't get sticky on it from the front. This has a good solid seal, which is important because one time I didn't close it up and I let it sit while I don't know, went away for 2 weeks or something, and I came back and it had dried so much that it was sticking to itself and didn't work for me very well. Okay, now I'm going to put this right in here so I can see a bit of both of these pictures, just enough to say I know what this is, I know what this is, and I know what this is. So it's lovely. Now I found this little piece which I'm also going to add here, and what this represents to me is, besides blue and white, is the ocean and sketching and watercolor. So what's not to love is probably what I should say. I just love it all. I don't do a whole lot of sketching and never have, because I actually love painting a whole lot more than drawing. I can draw, I'm actually quite good at it, but you know how sometimes you do things, it's like, yeah, I'm good at it, but don't love it. And so, you know, why spend a lot of time doing it? So, and I've always said, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So there is suddenly a whole page. Now I'm not quite finished, so don't leave or anything. I think I will put this up here because why not? I can, and it kind of draws the eye upward. But I don't know that I want it the whole length of the strip. I don't want it to go over the shirt, and I think I'll cut it right there. That way it cuts off the green. So another thing that is one of my favorite things to do is travel. I love to travel. I don't love a lot of the aspects of travel, like international travel means I'm 2 hours from the nearest international airport. 2 hours, and when I went to Paris in 2021 with my sister, counted up the hours, like coming back, it's like from the hotel to the airport, waiting there, getting on the plane, and I changed through Montreal because she lives near there, so she got off. I had 3 hours there, 5 hours back to the West Coast, and then 2 hours home. 28 hours in traveling, which, trust me, is exhausting. It's even more exhausting, I think, than jet lag. Okay, staying a little bit more on topic here. I have all these blue related washi tapes, and I think I might use some. It says vacation, relax, repeat, sightsee, vacation, relax. Where does it start? Oh, hold on, look at this. I have a little space down here. that I need to cover. So let's just get them all out and see which one I could use. It says coast to coast. The coast feels like home. Life is short and the world wide. Kind of is my philosophy here. I don't want this one in that spot. So I'm going to cut it off. And then I can get all these edging things as well. So let's just cut that one off there. And pop it in here and it will fit perfectly. There. Now I could probably put this somewhere. I'll put it over here on this water. Just cut this little piece of trim off. Stick that down there. That looks nice. It looks very nice. Now I do like this. And you know what? I think I might just put it down this edge here. Because why not? I did leave that edge white. Relax, vacation, sightsee, sounds like my kind of life. I'm still working on that, but it does, they all fall under my favorite things, so there you go. Oh, I do like that. I like that. And let's see, salty, this one's nice. It's the salty air. Something about the salty air. Feel the breeze. Taste the salty air. That one in this little spot probably just fit almost perfectly. Maybe not quite perfectly, but I'm okay with it. It does go along, but like I said, it's 2 millimeters out. All right, now let's find. I want this. There's some really sharp edges here. So I would like to put something in there that is kind of rounded, so that I can get more of that shape. So I'm going to look through all my little papers. These ones lean heavily towards brown. I don't want those ones. They're little houses, Chinese houses. Just not, kind of doesn't work with my theme right now. These all lean heavily towards brown. I would like to put some books in, but a blue book. Have you ever watched The Darling Buds of May? The old version. It's so delightful and funny. But there's the main character. He's a bit of a shyster, but he's so good-natured. I might like that there. I do like that, but I'm not quite decided. Just gonna see if there's something in here that might work. There's a couple of blue ones. Anyway, in The Darling Buds of May, he does things and then he says they're perfect. It's English, okay? Perfect. Well, I'll think about that. I might not use it. I found blue things are a little bit harder to find. Anyway, I do like this book. So I'm going to try and get it off its backing. Put it right at that junction. And this one over here to cover that up. Don't want to cover too much up, but that's brown. But I'd like to get all those edges in there. There. Now what? This line here, I think I'll cover. And this is fun with like orange slices and gold. I like gold. What does this one say? All the lights, all the sights to see, you and me, the sea, the coast feels like home. Coast feels like home. It sure does for me. And you know, it's funny because I grew up on the Canadian prairies on a farm. And you know, it's dry and there's not a lot of water around, but as soon as I saw the ocean, I thought, I love the ocean. Well, now I should have left those on there because now it's too short. Well, that necessitates something else, like a little sticker. Now then, where are my best stickers? Actually, maybe what I'll do is put this down this edge. Put it right up into there. There, favorite things all around. I could put on more washi tape and do more things, but I actually really like this border that really kind of dressed everything up. I wonder if I should put one on another side. This is pretty. Let me see if I like this. I actually do like it quite a bit. I'm going to do that whole edge. Not that it needs covering up or anything. Put it right there and pull it right up to here. And just lay it down carefully. And I can cut it off when I get to the end. There, how pretty is that? It's so pretty. And you know what? I'm going to get carried away here with my washi tape. Because why not? I've got lots of it. What's it for? It's for enjoyment. And like I said, when I started this video, life is to enjoy. It's like if you don't enjoy it, if you're not enjoying it, something needs to change. But also, I believe that it makes God happy when we enjoy life because He gave us life. Let's see if this is good and stuck down. That is so nice. I love it. I just love it. There is just a whole layout of some of my favorite things. Making videos is one of my favorite things, actually. I've surprised myself by how much I like it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I would love to have you come along. And click the little bell so that you can get the notifications when I have a new video. That's always fun. I would love it if you'd leave a comment. I read them all and answer them all. And click the thumbs up button because that tells the algorithm something that actually works for my channel and that would be helpful. And I'll see you next time.